What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another video. The 4B decentering movements and their ilk are focused on non-select men. Yeah, that's a long one. The 4B decentering movements, any movement that women have, like they call themselves staying away from men. Yeah, I'm going to get into the reality of those movements and everything. Before I do, just for those who keeping up with, my health and how I'm hitting the gym. Yeah, I did the 2-piece with mambo sauce and a grape soda today. That's a quadruple set right there. So that's curls, tricep kickbacks, dumbbell flies, and dumbbell raises. And that's just one set. Then I do it again. Yeah, shout out cousin T-Talk. Yeah, getting back to it. Ain't lifting the weights I used to lift. But you know what? Like I said, if you ain't been in the gym a long time, or any type of workout you're doing, you don't start back. Like if you used to lift 300 pounds and you've been out of the gym for 4 months, you had a medical emergency, such as a stroke. You don't go back in lifting 300. Hell, you go back in, you start with the bar, even if it seems easy. Like muscle memory is good, but you want to make sure your rest of you can still lift. It'll come back, but you got to start from zero. Yeah. Now, getting to that 4B and Decencentering movement. Now, I pay attention to a lot of shit. Motherfuckers act like I don't. But they some Bama dudes just projecting their own bullshit. Yeah, I said it. I live in Harford County, motherfucker. Shit. Anyway, so check it out. Like, you got that 4B movement that started in South Korea. You know, they don't want to mess with a man. They don't even want to have sex with a man. Definitely not married. Don't want to have kids with them. Like, no. And then you got this thing, decentering movement. They don't want men to be the center of their lives. Okay. And you got value. Shoot, that's just naming some stuff women been doing really since the advent of feminism, or the current version of feminism. Because, see, I even said this in a blog I wrote. I said, if all feminism did was free the female gaze, they don't have to be stuck with a man. It used to be, old days, women, they, for survival. Like in the 1950s, only 7% of women might have gotten a college degree or something. And now they in college more so than men now. They outdistancing the men in many areas. But that money thing was the main reason they had to deal with non-select men. And these are men who don't turn them on sexually, might not have the money they want, anything like that. Because let's be clear, the select men either got that raw sex appeal or they got money way above average. Yeah, I'm still not for that money thing, but we got to be real. That's me and my ilk, and those on my vibration get the pussy without spending money. But other guys, they got to offer a lifestyle, something. And some women up here, they don't want to mess with a man unless he say he a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. Okay, they select. At the same level as Mr. Goodbar, but they still select. But let's be real. And I talked about this, I touched on this yesterday. When I said all these women don't have a high count. Shit, that's another reason. They ain't dealing with men. Because there's usually two things with it. Either A, they dealt with a select man. They typically got dogged. Don't want to deal with men again unless they happen to run into another select man. Which I'm going to talk about in a bit. That whole dynamic. Or they only dealt with like non-select men, period, and they're just like, this guy's just ain't it. Don't have the sex appeal, don't have the money. Why the fuck am I fucking with him? That's all it is. And it's definitely way more non-select men than their select men. And see, that's all these women are doing. They just saying, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on myself. Shit. And if they want some D or something, if they lucky enough, they can run into a select man for a maintenance man. But, you know, a lot of women going on these sex tourism vacations. They were going on it way before men were. I was hearing about women going on sex vacations, sex tourism, and shit just to get some D back in the 80s. Back in the 80s. And people think some like women, they calling them like, oh yeah, well now the women getting on the passport thing. They been on it, man. They been on it. Shit. Like I said, I first heard about it in the early 80s. Early 80s. They been doing that shit. They been doing that shit. And even before then, they could be married to some guy, some non-select man he settled with, but then you had many, they had that guy jumping over the back fence. That is it the milkman's baby. It got a basis in reality. So what's happening now, though, women open, they saying, fuck it, I don't want to deal with that guy, I don't have to. Shit, I know several women under the age of 30 who got their houses. Several. One had one built from scratch. Shit. The fuck she need a man for? For other than sex. Let's be clear, these women still get horny and shit, but they still, you know, they end up sharing a Mr. Goodbar. And some of them ain't even getting that much, because Mr. Goodbar want a fine ass woman. So a lot of these women, you know, they might have all that shit, but they just, look, basically don't want to settle. And that's all it is. When you see those movements, they're like, well, shit, I don't want to settle for this shit. I ain't putting up with no, like, fucked up man. And I actually know some women who married a guy who was non-select and ended up having to get a restraining order against him or something. They saying, fuck it now. They saying, fuck it. And that's all those movements are about. That's all those movements are about. They ain't getting what they want, and usually part of it is on them. They just ain't attractive enough to get the top men. Because if you look at what they complaining about, what type of men they trying to fight to get, it's always the top men. Because let's just be real, a woman can get a man. Every woman can get a man if that's all they want. But they want the top men. They want the select men. They want they looking for Mr. Goodbar. And if they can't get Mr. Goodbar, at least that guy, like I always say, that looks, money, and status thing always works out. I just say, all I've ever said about that was sex appeal is just better. It is. And you can still get it. A lot of guys get it because they got the right status. A woman to still deal with. But the women don't like, once they get past all that, they don't like what they see underneath. They don't like what they see underneath. So they getting pissed off. They getting pissed off at that. They like, well, shit, we don't want to deal with that anymore. And you get these movements 4B and shit. I could probably put some more. There's probably some more if I really dig. Shit. But all it is come down to they don't want the non-select men. In fact, when I was talking yesterday about many women don't have a high body count. See, and you had some guys, let me say something, going on a tangent real quick. Listen to my whole thing, because I explained my argument. I didn't say it out the blue. I had some people, I could tell, the video about 25 minutes, they comment 2 minutes in, which means they hadn't listened to the whole thing. Like, whenever I say something, I don't just lightly say it. Don't go off the title. Title is just to get your attention. You got to listen to the whole thing. And that's part of it. Shoot, these women, they saying, well, fuck it. We don't want to fuck no non-select man. Women, a lot of women complaining about sex. Because one thing about Mr. Goodbar, they at least think he going to turn them on and do something in the bedroom. Whether or not he do is another thing, but they at least think it, so they're getting turned on from the get-go. They getting turned on by Mr. Goodbar from the get-go. But ain't enough of them around. And that's all these women, that's what's up with all these women. Ain't enough select men around. Because let's be real. Mr. Goodbar, 10-15% of the population. And it depends on where the woman is. The guy who's going to really dick them down good and everything. And nah, he ain't no Pookie and Ray Ray. Some of them might be Pookie and Ray Ray. Some of them like some like upper class dude. Whatever the case. Whatever they are. Ain't enough of them to go around. And then money men, let's be real. Money men start at 6 figures and shit. Lower 6 figures is still considered middle class nowadays. So they want that guy talking, what, $500,000, $300,000, Yeah, 500,000. Now say I meant 250,000, but yeah, 500,000 too. They want that man like that. They ain't a lot of those. Let's keep it a buck. I wouldn't even say less than 10%, less than 5% of men balling like that. And most women ain't gonna get to them. Most women don't have access to them. All they got is access to some like regular guys who probably give a shit about them, but they not turned on by them. They not turned on. So, you know, you got the top two, the select men that women can't get to. So they saying fuck it. They deal with a non-select man. They ain't happy. Shit, they going into the situation, they ain't happy that they settling. They saying fuck it, we don't have to settle no more. That's where all these movements are coming from. Shit, why pop out babies for some dude they don't really want? You know? Because they even getting to the point, they like, well shit, can I live with this motherfucker? And shit, some of them came out of families and shit with a non-select man. They saw how their mother was. They were like, well shit, I ain't having babies with this motherfucker, ordinary motherfucker. And look, and even with the select and non-select, Mr. Goodbar ain't inclined to settle down, at least when he's young. He be getting pussy until his old age. So he's still fucking, so he might not settle down. The masked man, shit, a woman, shit, those upper crust men, those high value men, those men with money, who you think they ain't going for most of the women? They not going for most of the women. Most of the women be lucky if the man give them the time of day. Literally. So these movements, but see, women don't want to deal with the men actually that are there for them to deal with, not even for sex. That's why I say this shit. When I say, I wasn't say speaking lightly when I said many of these women got low counts. How they gonna have a high count? They ain't fucking like these dudes. They wanna fuck. Let's be clear on it. But who they fucking? Just some select dudes. Because really, if you look at my program, all I'm telling you is how to be select, how to be in that position where you're getting those women. But as anybody who's really in that position, they can tell you it's a big divide between what they getting and then what other men aren't getting. Shoot, all I had to do is listen to a man's conversation. I can tell where he at. Because even somebody trying to bullshit like they select, there's a certain thing they ain't gonna do. There's a secret I know if a man's definitely select if I'm talking to him. They ain't gonna give it because I don't feel like having people try to like pretend it. Like people who get in the comments say, I've been with this many women. I don't know. Anybody can say that. I still remember that one dude, and I don't give a shit if you hear this shit. We doing a consultation, and dude talking about he been with 100 women. And I was like, if you've been with 100 and shit, why you asking me these questions that you asking? Your question should be, how do you manage all those women? Let me shout out to Offie Kingdom. I knew in 5 minutes he knew what he was talking about. So, you know, you get to select men, they're going to speak a certain way. And these women, trust me, even these women call themselves whatever, 4B, they Decencentering men. They all right until Mr. Goodbar show up, because usually here's the pattern. Women go out with the Mr. Goodbar. They get dogged out. And everything. Dogged out. And they'll talk about men and want to change, you know, get religion, you know, say, baby, I'm going to focus on myself and everything. Till the next Mr. Goodbar come along. Because you do get some women, they addicted. And when I say addicted, they got that romantic intoxication. It's like a drug. What do I always say? Like that song Pusher Man I used to have in front of my stuff. That's why that said everything. I'll put it in the description box for those who hadn't heard it. Pusher Man. Shit. Instead of tapping her arms, those women be tapping their thighs. And those are only the women who got access to it. Because let's be real on something. Most women are not going to have access to a Goodbar. You know? And even fewer will have access to a top high value man. So they stuck. Let's just be real. Like I said, these women talking about coming online, talking about, yeah, they want a guy with $500,000, all that shit. I take one look at him and say, baby, you ain't getting that guy. Baby girl, no. You are not getting that man. Give it up. Unless he just want to just pump and dump. And you do got some players in that group. They know what the woman looking for. They'll get the woman fucker and shit. Do all the deprived shit to them. And then marry some other woman that they can, if they get married, marry some other woman that they can take out in public with them. You know, have a baby by if they want a legacy. And shit, I know some of those guys, they don't even want that. They might get one child, make some money. They good. They get vasectomies. So, you know, so you already got a small group, a lot of women. Only the most attractive women really even got access to that group. So a lot of women just stuck on dealing who they can stick with, and they like, no. And that's the trouble. When we get a lot of guys complaining, if you complain and stuff, you non-select. I'm just put it like that. She no ifs, ands, and buts. If you complaining about women, you non-select. And you know, and if somebody come on with a corny thing, how can I be select? Well, that's my whole program. I'm telling you how to do it. That's part of body game. That's part of body game, because bodies turn a woman on. Because that's the key. Because really, that whole select, non-select is a sexual hierarchy. Like the men that women want to have sex with, they'll still have sex with them if they get access. And then the high value men, you know, he has to be handsome. He got to look good. Even if he got to turn on the women just a little bit. It's like the drug. Okay, like Goodbar, that's the drug. That's the full cut, pure unadulterated. They don't have to cut it at all. They take it, they get hooked, they get addicted. The mass man, the money man, the high value man, whatever you want to call him, that man who really making some money, he got a cut version of the drug. He got a cut version. It's been watered down, had some stuff mixed into it. But then you talk to non-select guys, which a lot of guys, they gamesmen. Those are guys, women ain't really checking for them, but women might settle for them. And they think they the top of the heap and shit. Really, they ain't. And, you know, those are the main ones people be calling Pookie and Ray Ray. Or, you know, bottom shelf. But they just chase the woman, they'll wear the woman down. And then the nice guys, all it is with the nice guys is the guys ain't bringing they bringing 0% of that drug. You know? They ain't bringing nothing. The women see them as their brothers and stuff. The women just are not turned on sexually by them. You know? So the women are saying, shit, well, fuck it. What the fuck I need to do? I can go make my own money. I can just stay away. Like I said, they either been dogged by Mr. Goodbar, dogged out by some select man, or, you know, they just not meeting a select man. So what's left for them to do? They'll tell themselves, well, you know, I don't need a man or something. But if Mr. Goodbar returned that phone call and shit, they'd be all on. But it's not enough to go around. Everybody got these dudes talking Chad and Tyrone. You talking what? 1% of the population on that level. If you're talking just on that looks thing, 1%. And quite frankly, a lot of women don't think they're attractive. That's another issue. Because women, different things turn them on about a man. I said the main thing is the body. I'm going to stick with that. The main thing. And then a certain attitude. You have a certain attitude to get the women. A lot of guys ain't going to have it. They ain't going to know how to turn a woman on sexually. And if anybody asks, I got archives, I got a Patreon where I talk about all of that. If it click for you, it should. Hopefully it'll click for you. So don't ask me right here. And no, and real quick, don't ask me to do a video. Don't ever ask me to do a video. Because I'm ignoring you. Because the last time I did that, somebody even paid for it. They had some negative energy on the page. They had a bunch of people I would not want comment. A whole bunch. I said, fuck, I ain't doing it again. I'm sticking with whatever I want to talk about. But yeah, these women in these movements, trust me, they just don't like what they have to deal with. They don't like the men they have to deal with. And they don't get access to the money men and the sexy motherfuckers and shit. Mr. Goodbars, they want the more attractive women. You'll see that even some women who speak out against those movements, look at them, how attractive they are. Of course they're going to speak out against the movements. They got a lineup of men. Shit, they got options. They the ones who can get up in those circles where they can get the top men. There's only a small percentage of women who could truly get the top men. People keep saying 80-20. It's more like 30-20 or 20-20. Shit. But yeah, those movements, huh? You know, it's just, that's all it is. It's just women just want, these women, they got different groups, different names. They just don't want to deal with non-select men. Shit. I mean, the only solution is create more select. And now you can blame the women and shit for all that. They get mad, but really it's just their nature. Understand one basic thing with women. And it ain't even so, because some of them seriously would like that nice guy. That nice guy and everything. I've talked to some of them. They wish they could be sexually attracted to him. But a woman's nature, regardless of culture, is she's searching for the best genes. She's searching for that man who get her wet. And that could be, shit, they go back to the initial imprint. And the imprint, once again, for those who don't know, is a combination of the first 3 men. Any guy talking about they some woman's imprint, I say, no, at best you were part of her imprint at best. But the first 3 men. And shit, that goes back even further. Who she gonna look for? That's in her DNA, the type of man. Because really, that's set up who she gonna look for. She's looking for somebody like daddy. So, you know, it's some fucked up shit, but it's nature. It's nature. So by nature, women only want a small percentage of men. They only want a small percentage of men, you know? Eyes acting up. I still got some stuff with the stroke, but, you know, seriously. That's just their nature. They can't get to us. They free to go for who they want, but there's not enough around of who they want. So when you see them talking about, well, we're gonna focus on ourselves, we ain't gonna have this man's baby. That's all it is. That's all it is. They don't want them. These guys are non-select. You know, it's fucked up, but it's nature. It's survival of the fittest. All I'm doing is telling you how to be among the fittest. That's all I'm telling. All right? Yeah. I know my genes are going into the future. Anybody seen my sons? Shoot. Anybody see my sons? No, my genes going into the future. So I ain't worried about it. That's how deep that shit is. That's how deep that shit is. So, anyway. Hey, y'all have a good weekend. You know, Sovereign Saturday is tomorrow. And then, you know, I got my inspirational stuff on Sunday. Oh, real quick, on my Sunday videos, don't ask me no game questions. Seriously, I'll automatically delete them. Don't ask me no questions about game, because you get some people, they thinking because a lot of people might not comment, so they'll think, oh, okay, I can get in here. No, you ain't, no. You need to, if you want a question, you need to contact me directly. My contact information is in the description box. Don't try to be slick. Don't be asking me, because people should know this by now. You be asking me some questions, and most of the time, or say, hey, well, what about this or this? Nah, motherfucker. You want a question? Send me an email. Most of the time I answer the question. I say 98% of the time I'll answer that question. Don't hit me up on, you got to do some work. And if you really want some work, get a consultation. But that's just, had to share that. So anyway, I'll get back with you. I got to get some food. Got to get some vittles. I'll talk to y'all. Peace.